What is method? Method is a technique that provides the developers with a guideline in modeling the problem domain and the system, and in documenting the model as specification. Structure method. Structure method is a method that supports the requirement analysis and design phase. There are three types of structure method. Data dictionary is a data flow that has name of the data that represented the structure of the data. Data flow diagram is a directed graph that denotes the interface, the portion as data transformation, and edges represented the data flow between the nodes. Mini specification is a process that repeatedly decomposes that describes the content of economic operation with structured natural language. System Development System or JST is a process that transfers from requirement analysis to the implementation phase. JST phase involves three, which is construct the system, which are the model problem of the real world, add function to the constructed model, implement it according to the real execution environment. Oriented method is a process that capturing problem domain with data and then modeling the data. There are three types of data-oriented method, which is construction, concatenation, selection, and iteration. Object-oriented method is a process where start capturing the problem domain or solution with object. There are 9 diagrams that involve in object-oriented method, which are class diagram, object diagram, use case diagram, sequence diagram, state diagram, activity diagram, component diagram, deployment and diagram, and the last one is collaboration diagram. Method based on UML is a process that involves features use case driven, architecture-centric, and incremental and iterative development. There are 4 types of process development, which is inception, elaboration, construction, and transition.
Software design is a plan for converting a specification into executable code, which means that which a problem description is turned into a problem solution. It involves two design, which is structural design and algorithmic design. Structural design determines the components of software systems in terms of their required functionality and their links to one another, while algorithmic determine how each structural component delivers its required functionality. Okay, a design methods need to provide a method and or a heuristic guidelines indicating how to create a design, a method for recording the design unambiguously, a method of or a procedure for verifying that a design is correct, where verification involves ensuring that the design fulfills the terms of the specification internally, consistent and doesn't prevent or hinder further system development. For instance, is coding and testing. There are two major design methods in the software design, which are mathematical methods, which also referred as formal methods, and structured methods. For mathematical methods, it aim specification activities intended for use in determining the system specification and component specification. It also provides a mathematical specification notation and use the classic methods of mathematical proof to verify that a program is consistent with its specification. And lastly, it performs well with respect, providing an unambiguous notation and the possibility of verification, but it doesn't offer many rules or heuristics for the creation of a specification. For structured methods, it is useful for the specification of system structure. Okay, there are 4 design approaches in the software design, which is first, it is entity relationship modeling. Second, data flow analysis and design. Third, data structure methods. And fourth are object-oriented design. For entity relationship modeling, it considers the objects about which the system collects and maintains the data. For data flow analysis and design, at the analysis level, models the flow of data through a system, and at the design level specifies the system structure. It also used to identify the functional and data components in a system, and the order of functional components are invoked. Third, for data structured methods. it analyzing the structure of the input and the output of the data. It also used to design individual functional components. Lastly, for object-oriented design, it is identifying the objects of interest in a system and treating those objects as abstract data types with associated operations to interrogate or alter their state. And also, this approach is very closely related to the entity relationship modeling approach.
Hi, I'm going to present about software design method. Article 3. Software design is a problem-solving process whereby the designer applies techniques and principles to produce a conceptualization or logical model that describes and defines a solution to a problem perceived in reality. This process is not well structured. The solution set is not limited. The model as built by the designer cannot always accurately represent the problem, and there is no known measure of the effectiveness of the many possible courses of action. Each software design method has its goals to provide the software designer with a blueprint from which a reliable system may be built. I will explain to you about design fundamentals. Three distinctive aspects of an information system are addressed during its software design, which is data design, architectural, which is preliminary design, and procedural, which is detailed design. Software design method attempt to aid the designer in each of these three aspects. They assist in partitioning the software into smaller components and reducing complexity. They help to identify and isolate data structure and functions. And last, they attempt to provide some measure of software quality. There are 8 important software design concepts. Number 1 is stepwise refinement, which is top-down approach where a program is refined as a hierarchy of increasing level of details. Number 2 is abstraction, which means of describing a program function at an appropriate level of detail. Number 3 is software architecture. While refinement is about the level of detail, architecture is about structure. Number 4 is program structure that represents the hierarchy of control. 5 is data structure that represents the organization, access method, accessibility, and processing alternative for program-related information. Number 6 is modularity. That means logical partitioning of a software design that allow complex software to be manageable for the purpose of implementation and maintenance. Number 7 is software procedure that provides a precise specification of the software processing, including sequence of events, exact decision points, repetitive operation, and data organization. And the last one is information hiding. That is an adjunct of modularity.
Next, we will proceed to the next article from the book Applying Design Methodology to Software Development. The Agile movement in software industry saw the light of the day with the Agile Software Development Manifesto published by a group of software practitioners and consultants in 2001. The focal values honored by the Agilists are presented in the following. First, individuals and interactions over processes and tools, working software over comprehensive documentation, customer collaboration over contract negotiation, and responding to change over following a plan. So back in 2001, Miller gives the following characteristic to agile software processes, which allow shortening the life cycle of project. It is the modularity, the iterative with short cycles, time-bound, parsimony, adaptive, incremental process, convergent and incremental, people-oriented, and collaborative and communicative working style. So for what agile methods are designed? It is to produce the first delivery in weeks to achieve an early win and rapid feedback. To invent simple solutions so there is less to change and making those changes is easier. Next, we'll improve the design quality continually, making the next story less costly to implement. And lastly, we'll test constantly for earlier, less expensive and detection. So this publication had 3 purposes. Firstly, it synthesized existing literature on what is actually meant by the term agile. The conclusion was that this is the case when software development is incremental, cooperative, straightforward, and adaptive. Secondly, based on this definition, each method was described in terms of process, roles and responsibilities, practices, adoption, and experiences, along with current research. Third, this enabled the selection of criteria for comparing methods and pointing out their differences and similarities. It was found that while the Agile method share many similarities, some are more focused than others. For example, they support different phases of the software product development to a varying degree.
Okay, next I will present the last article, which is Agile Software Development Method. The aim of this article is first, to order and make sense of the different agile approaches that have been proposed. Second, make practitioners better aware of the available agile method. And third, to choose the most appropriate method in a more informed way. Okay, next is analytic framework. Analytic framework is constructed for synchronizing and guiding the review of the existing methods. Analytic framework encompasses 6 perspectives, which is first, project management support, second, software development life coverage, third, availability of concrete guidance for application. Okay, fourth is adaptability in actual use, fifth, research objective, and lastly, empirical evidence. Okay, next is characteristic of agile method, which is F4, incremental, cooperative, straightforward, and adaptive. Okay, next is adaptive software development, ASD. ASD attempts to bring about a new way of saying software development in organization, promoting an adaptive paradigm. Okay, next is agile modeling. Agile modeling aims to apply the idea of agile rapid development to modeling. It focuses on modeling practices and cultural issues, imposing values required for the application of AM. Okay, next is software development life cycle. Software development lifecycle passes are supported by the different agile methods, and agile methods are focused on different aspects of the software development lifecycle. DSDM is an independent method in the sense. Okay, ASD and ASP cover all the passes aspect for project inception, acceptance test, and system in use. AM aims to providing modeling support for requirements, specification, and design passes. Okay, next is availability of concrete guidance for application. FDD lays down 8 practices that must be used if compliance with FDD development rules is to be valued. ASD is more about concept and leadership collaboration management culture than software practice. ASP provide the design rationale for agile software engineering environment. And lastly, ASP method cannot be considered sufficient for other practitioners if they wish to adopt a similar working environment.